In the quiet countryside of Carlos Spegazzini, a small city nestled in the Greater Buenos Aires region of Argentina, lived a humble farmer named Mateo Suarez. You might think Carlos Spegazzini sounds like a person's name rather than a place, but this charming town in the Ezeiza Partido was actually named in honor of the famous botanist Carlos Luigi Spegazzini. The town sat peacefully in the center-south part of the region, surrounded by rolling fields and meandering streams that had witnessed countless seasons come and go. Every morning, Mateo followed his well-established routine with the dedication of a man who understood the rhythm of the earth. The fields stretched endlessly before him, covered in morning dew that made them sparkle like scattered diamonds in the early sunlight. The air was crisp and clean, filled with the sweet scent of wildflowers and the rich aroma of fertile soil. It was a landscape that had remained unchanged for generations, a testament to the enduring beauty of rural Argentina. But on this particular morning, something extraordinary was about to shatter the peaceful predictability of Mateo's world. As he walked through the muddy ground near the old stone bridge that crossed the babbling stream, his weathered boots squelching softly with each step, his eyes caught sight of something that made him stop dead in his tracks. There, partially hidden among the tall grass that swayed gently in the morning breeze, was an enormous black shell unlike anything he had ever seen before. The object was massive, easily the size of a small boulder, and its surface was covered in intricate scales that reminded him of reptilian skin. The shell's dark surface gleamed with an otherworldly luster, as if it had been polished by centuries of wind and rain. But before we continue with our incredible story, make sure to smash that like button, subscribe to our channel, and hit the notification bell so you won't miss any of our amazing tales of discovery and mystery. Mateo's heart began to race as a mixture of excitement and nervousness coursed through his veins. The beautiful morning chorus of birds singing in the nearby trees suddenly seemed distant and muffled, as if the world itself was holding its breath in anticipation of what was about to unfold. This mysterious object had completely captured his attention, drawing him forward like a magnet. With trembling fingers, he reached out tentatively, feeling a powerful combination of curiosity and caution washing over him. As his rough, work-hardened hand made contact with the smooth surface of the shell, a shiver ran down his spine. The texture was unlike anything he had ever felt, simultaneously ancient and timeless, yet somehow alive with possibilities. What secrets lay hidden within this enigmatic discovery? Could it be the fossilized remains of some prehistoric creature that had roamed these very fields millions of years ago? Or perhaps it was something else entirely, an artifact from a civilization lost to time. Mateo couldn't shake the overwhelming feeling that his simple life as a farmer was about to change forever in ways he could never have imagined. His mind raced with countless possibilities as he knelt beside the mysterious shell, running his fingers along its intricate surface patterns. Could this be a relic from a forgotten era, when giant creatures dominated the South American landscape? The very idea of discovering something so remarkable on his humble family farm filled him with a sense of awe that threatened to overwhelm him completely. A surge of determination flowed through Mateo's body like electricity, urging him to embark on a journey of discovery that would test every fiber of his being. He sensed that with each step he took from this moment forward, he would uncover clues that would not only shape his own destiny, but potentially contribute to humanity's understanding of the ancient world. His life was now forever connected to this mysterious shell, and whatever secrets it might hold. Unable to contain his excitement any longer, Mateo carefully noted the exact location of his discovery and hurried home to share the incredible news with his beloved wife, Lucia. She was in the kitchen preparing breakfast when he burst through the door, his eyes wild with excitement, and his clothes still damp from the morning dew. Lucia listened with growing amazement as her husband described his extraordinary encounter, her dark eyes widening with each detail he shared. The mere thought of uncovering something so significant right here on their modest farm ignited a flame of wonder in both their hearts. They had spent their entire lives working this land, never imagining that it might hold such incredible secrets beneath its familiar surface. Exchanging meaningful glances, they silently agreed to embark on this journey of discovery together, united in their determination to unravel the mystery that fate had placed in their path. Neither of them could have predicted that their quiet rural existence was about to be transformed into an adventure that would challenge everything they thought they knew about their world. Together, they returned to the site where the shell lay waiting, and spent hours meticulously examining every inch of its massive surface. They traced their fingers along the intricate patterns etched into the shell, marveling at the complexity of the designs that seemed to tell a story all their own. The weight of anticipation pressed upon them like a physical force, as if the shell itself was a key, waiting to unlock a secret world that had been hidden for countless centuries. They found themselves pondering the endless possibilities that stretched before them, their imaginations weaving elaborate tales of long-lost creatures and ancient civilizations that might have once called this very land home. The peaceful tranquility of their countryside existence had been completely shattered, replaced by an insatiable hunger for knowledge and discovery that consumed their every waking thought. Mateo and Lucia made a solemn vow to each other that they would not rest until the truth behind their discovery was finally revealed. They felt as though they had been chosen by destiny itself to become the guardians of this extraordinary mystery, and they were determined to prove themselves worthy of such an honor. Word of Mateo's remarkable find began to spread through the village like wildfire, stirring whispers of intrigue and wild speculation wherever people gathered. In the bustling marketplace, locals exchanged hushed conversations, weaving increasingly elaborate tales of ancient creatures and lost treasures that might be hidden beneath their very feet. The quiet farming community had never experienced such excitement, and the mysterious shell became the topic of every conversation. Among the many curious villagers, a wealthy collector named Esteban Morales caught wind of the discovery. Morales was known throughout the region for his vast collection of rare and valuable artifacts, and he was driven by an insatiable desire to possess anything that might be considered unique or historically significant. His sprawling estate was filled with treasures from around the world, but he was always hungry for more. Driven by his obsession with rare finds, Morales quickly dispatched one of his most trusted messengers to Mateo's humble farmhouse. The messenger arrived at sunset, dressed in expensive clothes that seemed out of place in the rural setting, and bearing an envelope sealed with Morales's distinctive wax seal. The proposal that Morales had crafted was as enticing as it was tempting. The messenger explained that if the shell turned out to be an egg from a rare and long-extinct creature, perhaps even something as magnificent as the formidable Ankylosaurus, Mateo would be rewarded with a sum of money that would transform his family's circumstances forever. The amount mentioned was more than Mateo could have earned in a lifetime of farming, enough to secure his children's futures and provide comfort for generations to come. The tantalizing prospect of such life-changing wealth hung in the air like a golden promise, beckoning Mateo with visions of prosperity and security that he had never dared to imagine. But even as the messenger spoke, something deep within Mateo's conscience began to stir, warning him that this decision would define not just his future, but his very character as a man. Mateo and Lucia found themselves standing at the most important crossroads of their lives, torn between the undeniable allure of financial security and their growing commitment to uncovering the truth behind their discovery. The proposal lay heavy in Mateo's hands, its expensive paper and elegant script representing a world of possibilities that seemed almost too good to be true. His hands trembled as he held the document, feeling the enormous weight of the decision pressing down upon his shoulders. The prospect of unimaginable wealth danced before his eyes, painting pictures of a comfortable future where his family would never want for anything. He could see his children attending the finest schools, his wife wearing beautiful clothes, and their farm transformed into a prosperous estate. But even as these tempting visions filled his mind, a small but persistent voice in his heart refused to be silenced. Mateo instinctively understood that his discovery held significance that transcended any monetary value. This shell represented far more than a path to riches. It was a genuine piece of history, a precious glimpse into a world that had been lost to time for millions of years. Lucia's eyes reflected the same internal struggle that was tearing at her husband's soul. As they looked at each other across their simple kitchen table, their unspoken thoughts seemed to mingle in the space between them. They both understood that accepting Morales's generous offer would mean surrendering all control over the shell and potentially condemning it to a fate of exploitation at the hands of a private collector who cared more about possession than preservation. Their hearts whispered of a different kind of legacy they could leave behind, not one built on material riches, but one founded on knowledge, discovery, and the preservation of humanity's shared heritage. They realized that some things were simply too important to be bought and sold, no matter how attractive the price might be. With a resolute nod that seemed to settle the matter once and for all, Mateo made his momentous decision. He would decline Morales's offer, choosing instead to follow the more difficult path of curiosity and scientific integrity. He would honor the true essence of his remarkable find, regardless of the financial sacrifices this choice might require. The days that followed were filled with sleepless nights and endless contemplation as Mateo grappled with the full implications of his decision. The whispered promises of fortune continued to echo in his mind, competing with the growing sense of wonder and responsibility that had taken root in his heart from the moment he first laid eyes on the mysterious shell. Sleep became elusive, replaced by restless hours spent staring at the ceiling and wrestling with questions of morality, duty, and the potential consequences of his actions. Deep within his heart, however, that glimmer of integrity continued to burn brightly, urging him to pursue the truth for the sake of knowledge itself, rather than for any personal gain. He found himself pondering the long-term impact his choice would have on his family's future, struggling with the uncertainty that now loomed over them like a dark cloud. The financial security that Morales had offered would have solved so many of their immediate problems, but Mateo gradually came to understand that there were rewards far more valuable than material wealth. Self-respect, the admiration of his children, the preservation of history for future generations. These were the prizes that truly mattered. He reminded himself that the pursuit of knowledge had always been humanity's noblest endeavor, a quest that transcended the temporary allure of fleeting riches. With this newfound clarity lighting his way, Mateo steeled his resolve and fully embraced the weight of his curiosity, more determined than ever to uncover the secrets hidden within his remarkable discovery. Driven by an insatiable hunger for answers and armed with a determination that surprised even himself, Mateo embarked on the most intensive research project of his life. He transformed his simple farmhouse into a makeshift laboratory, filling every available surface with books, scientific journals, and documentary materials that he borrowed from libraries across the region. Days melted into nights as he immersed himself completely in the fascinating world of paleontology, studying the distinctive features of prehistoric creatures with the dedication of a professional scientist. His weathered hands, once accustomed only to the rough work of farming, now carefully handled fragile fragments of knowledge as if they were precious gems. With every piece of information he gathered, Mateo's understanding of the shell's potential origins deepened and expanded, but the central mystery remained tantalizingly shrouded in uncertainty. He diligently pursued every lead, connecting information about ancient creatures with data about their habitats and behaviors, gradually building a comprehensive picture of the prehistoric world that might have produced his discovery. His mind became a living canvas, filled with vivid images of long-lost landscapes and populated by creatures that had vanished from the earth millions of years before humans ever walked upright. He could envision the sights and sounds of that bygone era, imagining the thunderous footsteps of massive beasts and the rustle of primitive vegetation in ancient winds. The weight of his investigation bore down on him heavily, but Mateo persisted with an unwavering resolve that impressed everyone who knew him. His transformation from simple farmer to dedicated researcher became the talk of the village, inspiring others to take a new interest in the natural history of their region. Mateo's quest for knowledge eventually led him far beyond the familiar boundaries of his farm, taking him to remote corners of Argentina, where paleontological treasures lay hidden beneath layers of sediment and stone. He visited prestigious natural history museums in Buenos Aires and Córdoba, engaging with renowned experts who had devoted their entire careers to unraveling the secrets of ancient life. These encounters with professional paleontologists proved invaluable, as their wisdom and guidance fueled his determination while painting an increasingly vivid picture of the prehistoric world that had once existed in South America. Each new meeting brought fresh insights that stirred his imagination and provided crucial pieces of the puzzle he was trying to solve. He found himself walking among the skeletal remains of massive dinosaurs, their bones arranged in positions that suggested the power and majesty they had possessed in life. He marveled at fossilized remains of ancient marine creatures that had once swum in seas that covered much of what was now dry land, and he listened with rapt attention to the passionate tales of seasoned researchers whose enthusiasm for their work was absolutely infectious. Their dedication became his fuel, propelling him ever deeper into the fascinating depths of his investigation. He studied ancient geological formations with the eye of a detective, examined rock layers that told the story of millions of years of Earth's history, and even participated in excavations at sites where fragments of the distant past were slowly being revealed. Mateo had become a true traveler through time, retracing the steps of creatures that had been extinct for eons, hoping to find the missing link that would finally bring clarity to the enigma he held so carefully in his hands. Each new discovery, no matter how small, brought him closer to understanding the true nature of his remarkable find. Guided by his ever-expanding knowledge, and sustained by a flickering flame of hope that refused to be extinguished, Mateo gradually found himself approaching what felt like the edge of a major revelation. The countless pieces of the puzzle he had been assembling for months were finally beginning to align, revealing tantalizing hints about the shell's true origin and significance. The mounting suspense wove itself into a complex tapestry of anticipation and wonder that filled Mateo's thoughts during every waking moment. As he prepared to share his findings with the scientific community, he felt the weight of responsibility settling on his shoulders like a heavy cloak. The truth he was about to reveal would not only vindicate his decision to pursue knowledge over wealth, but would also contribute to humanity's understanding of the prehistoric world. Standing before a carefully assembled gathering of scientists, collectors, and curious onlookers in the main hall of the regional museum, Mateo felt his hands trembling as he prepared to unveil the hidden secret that had consumed his life for so many months. The audience waited with bated breath, sensing that they were about to witness something truly extraordinary. With great ceremony and considerable emotion, Mateo lifted the metaphorical veil of uncertainty that had surrounded his discovery, finally exposing the truth to an eager world. Gasps of astonishment echoed through the packed room as the identity of the mysterious shell was revealed at last. The object that had started this incredible journey was indeed a remnant from the ancient past, but it was not the fossilized egg of a dinosaur as many had hoped and speculated. Instead, it was a fragment of the carapace belonging to a glyptodon, an extinct giant armadillo-like creature that had once roamed the South American plains during the Pleistocene epoch, roughly 2 million years ago. The revelation sent shock waves of excitement through the assembled crowd, mixing amazement with a deep sense of fascination for this window into a world that had vanished long before recorded history began. Mateo's heart swelled with a complex mixture of triumph and humility as he fully grasped the true significance of what he had discovered. While the shell was not the dinosaur egg that some had imagined, it was no less extraordinary in its own right. This fragment represented a direct physical link to a forgotten world, serving as a tangible testament to the incredible wonders of evolution and the remarkable resilience of life throughout the countless ages of Earth's history. In that pivotal moment, standing before an audience of scientists and fellow seekers of knowledge, Mateo finally understood with perfect clarity that the true reward of his journey had never been about monetary gain or public recognition. The real prize lay in the simple act of unraveling mysteries, preserving the past for future generations, and contributing to the ever-expanding tapestry of human understanding. As the initial shock of the revelation began to subside, a profound sense of triumph washed over Mateo's entire being like a warm wave. The room buzzed with animated conversations as scientists huddled together in small groups to discuss the implications of this discovery and its potential impact on current understanding of prehistoric life in South America. Mateo stood quietly in the center of the intellectual commotion, absorbing the excited hum of scholarly discourse and feeling deeply grateful to have played such an important part in expanding humanity's knowledge of its ancient heritage. The remarkable shell, which had once been nothing more than a source of mystery and wild speculation, now took on an entirely new significance in the light of scientific understanding. It had become a powerful symbol of human curiosity and resilience, a tangible reminder of the profound connections that link the distant past with the present moment. Mateo made a solemn vow to protect this precious relic and to share its incredible story with generations yet to come, knowing that its true value lay not in any price it might command, but in its unique ability to inspire wonder and ignite the spark of curiosity in everyone who encountered it. As Mateo reflected on the extraordinary journey that had brought him to this moment, he realized with startling clarity that the true reward had been there all along, hidden beneath layers of doubt, temptation, and uncertainty. While the allure of wealth and recognition had danced persistently on the periphery of his adventure, he now understood that the deep fulfillment he derived from his discovery far surpassed any material riches that could ever have been offered to him. His family stood proudly by his side throughout the museum presentation, their faces beaming with unmistakable pride and admiration for the choice he had made. They understood the full significance of Mateo's decision to honor the pursuit of knowledge above all else, to protect and preserve the past, and to leave behind a legacy that transcended the temporary appeal of material wealth. Together, they made a new commitment to continue preserving the fragile remnants of natural history they might encounter, and to share the remarkable tale of the Glyptodon shell with anyone who would listen. They had learned that even the most humble farm might hold secrets that could contribute to humanity's understanding of the world. As Mateo surveyed the breathtaking landscapes of Carlos Spegazzini with fresh eyes, he realized that the quiet countryside around him was undoubtedly filled with countless other stories waiting patiently to be unearthed by those with the curiosity and dedication to seek them out. And so, armed with a renewed sense of purpose and an unshakable commitment to the pursuit of knowledge, Mateo set out on what he knew would be a lifelong journey. It would be an adventure dedicated to continuing the revelation of the wonders hidden in the past and to inspiring future generations to cherish and protect the incredible mysteries that lay waiting within their reach, just beneath the surface of the familiar world around them. The discovery of the Glyptodon shell had taught him that the greatest treasures are not always made of gold or silver, but sometimes consist of nothing more than the opportunity to touch the distant past and share that connection with the rest of humanity. In choosing knowledge over wealth, Mateo had discovered riches beyond measure.